Hi, Dr. Pankaj Kumar Goswami. Welcome you all again in the machine learning using Python tutorials. Today we have a target to understand loop conditions. Basically, while we are going for the machine learning, so many times it may be required a repeated or recursive phenomena exist. In that situation, so we first have to go for repetition of a certain kind of a module of a program number of times to check the conditions. And until and unless this condition is being satisfied, the loop keep on moving. For an example, you have an ATM machine and the ATM machine is fixed for number of times of loop. You are inserting your card and it is asking enter your PIN. You are entering your PIN and during that time it may be possible you are entering a wrong PIN. At that time, entering the wrong PIN will give you another option to re-enter. So doing it 3 or 5 times depending upon the bank policy, then after it come out from the loop and will show you that your particular card is hotlisted for a particular day or a particular period of time. So this means that program of ATM machine will allow you to enter the PIN code for limited number of times, and during that particular period time it runs the same program. So in between, if you are entering the right PIN, that means you are allowed to execute that program, and even that the exact input is not being given by you, then you are just putting out from that particular module. So this is what the condition of a loops are really very much important. Let's begin it. So as we always start, first of all we are having this common platform. Even I have received number of times queries. The peoples are definitely, those are liking my videos, are saying that why I'm using only the Google Colab right now, why I'm not going for the Anaconda packages, specifically the Jupyter or the Spider or the Python especially installed over there. This is only for the purpose of convenience to make you all like during this lockdown situation, you people are really comfortable to have the Google internet is there, and the Google Colab does not require any sort of the installation in your system. If suppose you are not having your mobile phone, not having your laptop, you can start it on a mobile phone or on a tab. So that is what we are having right now, all the working with the Google Colab. Soon we'll have all the packages will be working, the same kind of a module will execute on the Jupyter as well on a Spider. So let's begin with the Google Colab. So those are watching this video first time, they may type the Google Colab and please move on. So here we have the Google Colab. And we are opening it all. So once you will open, you will get this kind of window. You can easily open your own program which is existing over here. So let's begin with our same program that we have already saved in a Google Drive. This is our first program, .ipynb. I'm opening it. So while we have all the things we have already done here, if you request, I can easily share this first program .ipynb file to you all people. So before going to start, don't forget to connect. So today we have a target to work with the Python loops. So here we are going to work with the loop. Let's begin with that. What are the facilities we are having in the Python? Taking a new code line, and most important, which is really very common in all, is a for loop. Let's understand the syntax of for. So I'm just taking one example for just making you. It means the first of all, very first important part is here. While you're just using this loop, the loop is only giving you a facility to repeat the process. Till then, when the particular condition will be executed. Here I'm just taking an example. Let's say I'm just taking an example of any string. I'm giving an option case equals to, I'm just taking any word here, taking Python, using inverted commas here, Python. So here I have just stored the value of Python into the case. Now let me start. If suppose I want to print this Python into the form of each and every letter, so I can use like this, for letter in word. For letter in word. It means it will execute all the letters of this word in sequence manner, and then after you may print this like, and here you have just taken the term as case. So fine. So for letter in case, what are the letters in case that has to be taken care by the program, and every time this to be taken as the output. So print will be a letter. Let's see how this program will respond. So I'm running this program. See, so here we have just taken one variable as a case in which we have stored a string, and we are trying to find out the letter in case. What are the letter in case? And this has to be run for only till the number of letters be there. So it's a very interesting and really good one, that now you are printing this letter. What are the letters? So P, Y, T, H, O, N. So now the loop ends here until unless this letter condition will be satisfied. Let's take another example. So I'm having a case nested loop condition. For your convenience, I have just taken one another example in which I have a set of data, list of a data, in which we have a fruits that may contain the apple, banana and cherry. This is just only an example. It might be depending upon the different situation, what kind of a data set you have, in which regard you do have. It may be somewhat related with some sort of the manipulation, and somewhat it may be related with the calculation of real-time values. So here I've just taken a very simple example here of apple, banana and cherry. So let's say we have a fruits, apple, banana and cherry, and for that I wish to add the for loop. How I can utilize this for loop here? So for x in fruits, so we are looking for having a particular value of x. What is this x? So until and unless this loop tells you, it will work until this x come. So what is this x? We are defining it. If x equals to banana, it's very interesting. Now we have limited this using if statement. Condition is giving, this loop will work until this condition comes. As I have just taken an example, ATM will allow you to enter your pin until it becomes 3. So 3 is the condition. Simply this loop will work until this x will come. And what is this x? When this x equals to banana. So loop will start from here. It will check this apple whether it is banana. No, it's not banana. It will work. When it comes to banana, it will break and then print x. Whatever the x is here, that has to be printed. So let's checking it out how it works on. Interestingly, it is working starting from the apple, checking the first element. Is this apple is equal to banana? It's not equal to this banana. That's why it is coming on and printing this. But when it reaches x equals to banana, it means both are the true. The condition becomes true. It will break up and no other printing will be taken up. So simply you may have more options like that. Let's check on. So for your convenience, I've just taken another case, just having the same one and copying this code, except only making this x equals to condition. This x is not conditional. This is the x will check on all these conditions to here. So for x in fruits, so x, it means the variable, the first variable, the second variable, and the third variable. This x is defined for that. So x in where, in the suite of these fruits, it is checking all apple, banana, and cherry. It will list, it will check out, and we are printing on. So this apple, banana, and cherry. So here this statement tells you the condition for what the loop is working. This tells you the list over which this loop will be working. So you may limit your loop depending upon the situation. And most important, the break statement is here. If suppose you wanted to break your loop, so loop may be infinite depending upon the number of sequences. So in between where you're looking to make this loop to come out, to break it off, so you may have this break statement. So anytime depending upon the condition, you can break this loop. Another example I'm just taking here with the same one and picking up another very fruitful term, which is the continue. So here we have talked about the break statement. Now we are talking about the continue. Let's see. So we have a same list of fruits. We have for x in fruits. Now the condition is being checked whether it is equal to not. Now you wanted to make it continue or wanted to break it. So here we are continuing the process. Let's see what will be the output. So in this program, it is checking up the condition whether this fruit is equal to banana or not. It is working. When this condition comes, it is true. Then in this condition, the loop will not be printing on, because it will continue to next one. It will go to next and print the same. So here this continuous statement will help you to escape out the condition. So by doing this, you may escape out your particular value of a loop. This is really very useful. So while we will be making a big programs of depending upon the real-time examples, this will really help you all. Another example and another facility, kind of a script we have in the for loop, is a range function. So that's we have a basically talk about range. It means you may define the range of your loop for which it will work upon. So I'm just putting it up here, one example. So I have just taken a very simple for x in range of 6. So range 6 will tell you it will start from 0 to 6, and for every time, for every value of this range, it will work upon. So this print will be x. So here it is showing you from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So starting from not covering the last value 6. It means it has a 6 value starting from 0 to 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So sometime we require to run a loop for a particular range. In that situation, we can define that like a range. For that number of time it will work upon, and whatever the situation or the value you are looking for, that will be printed or executed as per your requirement. One more example, defining this range in a limit. So this time we are having this range from 2 to 6. So it is covering from 2 to 6 value and checking out its output. So it starts from 2, 3, 4, 5. It works up to and giving the print of this one. Another sequence we have for the same in range. Now this time we are having x in range to 33. It means it tells you it starts from 2 ending on 30 and having a difference of 3. It is again give you a space or intervals. Let's check this. So well, we have now 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 20, 23, 26 up to 29, because it is up to only 30. So every time we are having a difference of 3. So this is a basically range depending upon a certain interval. Next we have a nested loop situation. Let's check it out. How does it work? Nested loop. Basically the nested loop tells us If suppose there is a loop and inside a loop is there, then it is being called as a nested loop. It means a loop is depending upon some inertial values, and then inertial values will be executed, then it come out to the front loop, then again it is being executed. This kind of a situation can be taken up here. Just take an example. So here again I have just a list where we have some special adjective of a fruit variety. So we have fruit list as apple, banana and cherry, and having their basically qualities as a red, big and tasty. Now I wish to add them within a loop so that all the categories may come out. I have for X in adjective. So this is the first loop I am running on. So this X is what is looking for adjective. It means it may run for red, big and tasty. And within that, for Y in fruits, the second loop I am running for the fruits for apple, banana and cherry. It means red apple, red banana and something like the cherry. So it's like that. It means that every element of this will be working on this one. So that apple, big banana and tasty cherry, this will work upon. Finally, I'm just printing on all this, print XY. Let's check out the result. So well, red apple, red banana, red cherry. Now it's a big apple, big banana, big cherry, and tasty apple, tasty banana and tasty cherry. It means for every red, the three values, the red apple, red banana and red cherry will execute it. Similarly, for the big apple, big banana and tasty big cherry will execute it here. In the third case, the tasty apple, tasty banana and tasty cherry all will run. It means it tells you for first value all these three will be executed. For the second, again this one. This is called as a nested loop. In so many programming, specifically talking about the deep learning and the machine learning, so many times, so innermost shell values and the conditions are really very much powerful. For that, a particular quantity or the variable will run number of times for depending upon some independent or dependent value. So here I've just taken a very good example here. You just keep trying that. So we have lot more to learn about the loops and so many examples they are depending upon the loop. So the next time I'll be just taking care for more examples and more good things to make this loop more clear for you. Till then, bye bye. Thank you.